Hello, my name is Craig, and this is my final project for Existentialism. In this project, what I wanted to do was examine the community of resident assistants at Michigan State. This community is very important to me due to the fact that I am a member of this community. I've been an RA in Holmes Hall for the past 2 years. So, what I did here was I asked my fellow resident assistants just some questions about anxiety, the concept, and kind of some parts included within the concept. After they answer the questions, I'll come back and do some evaluation and talk about a couple of the concepts that they touched on.
My name is Mayank Jairam, and I am a resident assistant of Holmes Hall.
Shri Karmal Bhatti. I'm a resident assistant, and I'm also a mechanic on the side.
Bob Brown, and I was a CEO of a nonprofit, and I'm now a resident assistant in Holmes.
My name is Ash Ritchie, and I'm a student. I'm an RA.
My name is Kadir Muhammad. I am a SCR/resident assistant at Michigan State University.
Stress. Uneasiness.
Oh. Anxiety is just like, it's an emotion that you feel whenever you feel stressed out, or like, you can't really describe it. It's like a lingering, I don't want to say pain, but it's like that heavy feeling you get on your chest when you're like really anxious, or not anxious, just like nervous or like really freaked out about something.
Unknowing feeling of anticipation, and comes with some symptoms of like heart rate increase, uncertainty.
I'd say anxiety is a state of being where you're not sure of what's going on, or I guess you're not comfortable with what's going on.
Anxiety? Ooh, we're already starting with a tough one. I would say anxiety is like feeling really antsy or nervous about something and having something constantly whirring through your mind. Basically something that you just can't stop thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to be calm. That's the first thing, because if I was anxious when they're anxious, that's not good for anyone. It's like just counterproductive, and it will feed into their anxiety. Like, if like a resident came to me and they're like, "Hey, I'm really anxious about this," and then I became anxious, that's just gonna make them like feel worse. So I first I have to be calm and be like, so like, what's making you? I have to ask some questions, be like, what's making you feel this kind of way? And then once I kind of figure out the source of their anxiety, then I can help them like de-escalate the situation and help them like show them that like whatever they're anxious about isn't going to be the end of the world.
I don't think I'd have a reaction. I would tell them to go to CAPS and provide them with resources.
First, ask how they're feeling in that moment, and then go from that to trying to establish what is causing the anxiety, and then work backwards from there to see if there's anything that I can help with, and then direct to resources after.
First of all, I'd have them talk to me about it and see if there's something that might help them kind of better understand what they're going through by talking it out loud or talking with somebody else. And then I'd proceed from there based on what would be necessary based on evaluating, them talking to me.
That is, first I just like have them talk a little bit about what's going on in their lives. So usually a lot of times with anxiety, it can point to something stressful like an exam, maybe a personal issue in their family. So I'd probably just like start off a little bit with a conversation and see where it goes, and then eventually tackle maybe the source of their anxiety and see if they've had this in the past, if there's anything they can work on in the future. Just basically help them find resources to help them succeed.
The biggest source of anxiety is probably school academic problems, not having your grades where you want them, maybe family stuff too.
Exams.
It's usually pressure to be able to succeed in some capacity.
Global warming.
What's going to happen in the future? I think that's like the big one right now. it's a mystery. People aren't sure. Like, is this degree going to be valuable after college? Are they going to have something they can work on, or is it just not going to help them find a job? What happens if they spend all this money and nothing works out? So I think like a lot of anxieties over like, will they be successful and will something pan out in the future?
No.
Coming
No.
to you.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would say I've experienced anxiety. I would say that sometimes when you hear people you care about going through a lot of stuff, you get emotionally drained, and it takes a little bit of a toll on you. But I wouldn't say I've ever been like anxious about it.
So those were their questions and their answers. Before I start, I just want to thank all everyone that participated in this little interview of mine. I really appreciate it, and it really helped me out a lot. So the first concept that I kind of want to touch on in regards to the interview was anxiety's object. So in existentialism, anxiety doesn't really have an object to the existentialists. So they see it more as an unknown, something that you can't put your finger on. You don't know what it is. So on the first question, a lot of my participants actually touched on this. Kadir said he can't really describe the feeling. You hear Bob talk about an unknown feeling. You hear Shrikar say that he doesn't not sure what's going on, stuff like that. So as far as the existentialist view, this was very in line, which was very surprising actually and very cool. But where we get some confusion was with the second question. Some of them got a little bit off track and started pointing to specifics. That would be more of an attribute of worry more than anxiety, stuff like that. So next kind of concept I want to talk about was something in the reading as well, as in like the medicalization of anxiety. So in the existentialist view, anxiety is almost something to embrace, something to invite. It's actually like a vital part of our being and stuff like that. So they kind of touched on this in the resident assistant question as well, resident question as well, when saying how do you deal with the resident who comes with you with anxiety. And a lot of them pointed to stuff like CAPS and resources, which is medicalization, but is also some counseling and stuff like that as well. One thing that was really cool and I really liked was when Mayank kind of talked about, he kind of hinted on, he probably didn't know about it, but like the leap of faith when it came to the question about the biggest source of anxiety today. He talked about not knowing if you're in the right path or not knowing like if you're going to make money, stuff like that, which is a huge part of the existential belief of anxiety, which I think was really cool. The kind of last thing that I want to touch on was a surprise. The last question of do residents actually contribute to your anxiety? I was expecting long answers where they say yes and elaborate and all that, but 4 out of the 5 of them said no, which was actually really surprising and interesting to me. I hope you enjoyed my project. I had loved the class, and thank you.